Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, a developer advocate at Dremio, with another video talking to you about, well, functions that you can use in your SQL when you're using the Dremio Lakehouse platform. And today we're going to be talking about the standard deviation function. There's actually three functions here: standard deviation pop, and standard deviation samp, which stands for sample. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is taking a look at some sales data. And what we want to figure out is what the variance in the sales data is, like how volatile our sales are. So how often do they stray sort of from their sort of mean or average? What's the standard deviation from sort of where they are standardly? Okay, to try to put it in sort of simple enough terms. So here we're going to have some data we're going to insert into this table. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we are going to run this a normal standard deviation right here on the total sales. So the idea being that based on the sales for each salesperson, how often, what is the variability of those salespeople's sales? Okay, so we'll get that, and then we'll do two variations on this, which is standard deviation pop. Okay, which basically represents that you're running this standard deviation calculation against the full population of data. So the idea is if you're doing it against a full, complete data set, you'd probably prefer this one. And SAMP is going to give you a same picture, but assuming that you're doing it on a sample of the data. Okay, and essentially the idea is this: just like if you're doing it, like let's say you have a 1,000,000 record table and you decide to do it on 100,000 records, then you're probably going to want to use standard deviation SAMP. If you're doing it on the full 1,000,000 records, then you want to use POP. But bottom line is, the bigger the number, the bigger the variance in the data. That's the takeaway. The bigger the number, the bigger the variance in the data. Okay, and that can tell you lots of things. So in the terms of looking at salespeople's sales, well, if basically all my salespeople are very greatly from the mean, well, that means there's just like some people are really good, some people are really bad. It's like basically like generally, if I'm providing good training, if we're providing basically the right tooling, there shouldn't be that much variance because people should be able to execute on that on the sale, because basically what is affecting it is our research, our training, our planning, not just purely that individual salesperson's personal skills. Okay, so in that case, we can kind of see that. If we see a lot more variance, then it's like, okay, where is the gap in between sort of what are we providing? So in that, let's take a look. So let me set the context. I want to set it into this folder here. And then I am going to run this query. Okay, and again, we're creating the table. It's going to insert some records, run our queries. You can always see all of this SQL code in the repository that's linked in the video description, so that we can kind of see the comments and see the details around these transactions. Okay, so here we go. We take a look at the first query where we run standard deviation. Okay, so there's our standard deviation. Again, the actual number is going to be less relevant than sort of like the direction of the number, in the sense that it is a positive number. Okay. Cool. And then there's the one with standard deviation using standard deviation pop, and one using standard deviation SAMP. Okay, and the idea is that there is sort of a deviation. Okay, and with that, I'll see you all in the next video.